It's difficult to put into words the insane amount of anticipation that revolved around this remake. All the anxiety, all the hopes and dreams, it's all just kind of ceased. No more having to fawn over the idea we might one day be able to experience the world of Gaia once more. And it's been a weird ride, just casually watching my adolescence fade away all while awaiting this game's return. I'm not unique in saying me and this series got a checkered past. I love it. I hate it. I begrudgingly enjoy it even though the consensus is this game's really stupid and I'm also stupid for liking it. It's been about a year now since the Final Fantasy VII Remake crawled through that carnival of dog shit that was 2020, and it's riled up a bunch of complicated feelings. Feelings I'm sure you've already guessed I'm here to bitch and moan about for about 10 minutes. So buckle up, bitch. I had hopes and dreams of my own for this game. I wanted to see the story, character, and worlds come to life in a way that was faithful to the original themes of identity and exude that same charm that made this series so appealing in the first place. Gaia needed to be accessible in a way that wasn't possible before, allowing exploration of places we previously experienced in condensed versions. One of the most crucial things missing from the original game was the need to flesh out characters that didn't receive adequate development, and those existing relationships needed to be expounded upon better. I don't really want the focus of this video to be about reviewing this game, but I gotta at least say my piece. Plus, I'm the one editing this thing, so who fucking who?
Come here, fat boy!
Just kidding, it really does mean a lot to me that you're watching. Please subscribe, thank you. Also, spoilers, whatever, you get it. As gameplay trailers started rolling out onto the tube, I was concerned with how similar the combat was looking to Final Fantasy XV's. I didn't want that same floaty, button-mashing bullshit that made the combat in 15 so disengaging. On top of that, Final Fantasy VII is an ensemble cast. To not have the ability to play as Barrett, or Tifa, or Marshmallow Shorty would be a disservice to the whole concept. Luckily, this isn't the case at all. Cloud Sword go boom. Barrett gun go boom. Tifa hand also go boom. Not Red 13 though, apparently. Square said, fuck Red 13. All my homies hate Red 13. It is possible to just say, fuck it, blondes just want to have more fun the whole playthrough, but the way enemies are designed motivates you to utilize all available party members. These options encourage you to learn which members adapt better to certain situations, because just swinging a sword over and over can't be the answer every time. The one thing I can't deny is just how overwhelmingly beautiful this game can be. Every location builds on and improves what had previously existed. The characters were done equal justice as well, nicely translating these goofy ass styles and slapped onto some new character models. Some of the NPCs can be a little hit or miss, like honestly the majority of the fucking townsfolk look like Seinfeld extras, so that's kind of uncool. The soundtrack literally speaks for itself. It didn't lose any of its steam getting updated into this era, and the orchestral approach to some of the old tracks give it such a monumental feel. I want to give a specific shout out to these fellers too. I think they did such a great job of capturing that late 90s Uematsu feel when they're making the original songs for this game. It works. The voice acting in this game is hard to pin down. I like Cloud and I like Barrett, and Badger as Wedge is kind of cool, but I think overall it's just unoffensive at best, so that's all I gotta say about that. I think for the most part, Square did a pretty darn ass good job of keeping everyone's personalities intact, and this really shows throughout the many interactions your party has with one another. Cloud maintains this false sense of bravado and isn't just that weird mopey Kingdom Hearts version of Cloud that's obsessed with finding sex. Look, I can't really reveal that name just yet. I'm doing a thing here, so you'll see. I didn't find Jessie nearly as charming as the game seems to want me to, but I didn't carry that same resentment for her that everybody else seems to have. But I mean, I do think they did enough to make her death have more of an impact than it did in the original game. Wait, her death? Uh-oh. Look, I know I'm kind of flying through this review, but I'm trying to get to the meat. The meat, baby! One of the more pivotal differences in this remake gave the non-Barrett Avalanche members a whole bunch more screen time. This is part of what excited me about this game, the promise of spending more time with Jessie, Biggs, and Wedge. These are characters that were in desperate need of development, and I love all the little extra time padding shit pertaining to the crew. Wedge and his affinity for cats, Biggs and his orphans. And yes, I even liked the Jessie mission that briefly revealed her dreams to become a Golden Saucer actress. And while I did enjoy these things, I'm aware not everyone was the biggest fan, but beep beep beep, hello, is anybody home? These characters are supposed to kick the bucket soon, right? It didn't make sense to me that I was supposed to have a profound emotional response to the death of these characters that I spend maybe, like 3 minutes with? I'll touch on that in a bit. Also, Avalanche is no longer just some back alley gang of disgruntled eco-terrorists, but this whole huge huge rebellious organization that spawns many different branches and hierarchies. I am on board with adding Roche as a character as well. I think exploring these lower level Shinra militiamen is a necessary addition. Sure, at the heart of it all, Shinra is this big faceless conglomerate, but giving these low ranking soldiers some characterization helps round them off a little better. It's a bit more of a nuanced take, and by adding a little depth to the people who work there in turn, you do the same for the institution as a whole.
That is how civilized people change the world!
Not this, though. This is corny as fuck. While we're on it, how is it that nobody recognized Cloud before? All the people you chop down and nobody's like, hey, I think I took how to see out of these fucking visors 101 with that guy. It just feels good to see some confirmation that Cloud had a life prior to the game we're playing. So that's what I liked. And here's what I hate. Let's set a few of them up and knock them down quickly. Whispers. They sucked. A dude named Chadley. He sucks. The side mission. I don't necessarily hate them, but I didn't think they added anything to the story, and for continuity's sake, they sucked. A big point I want to make is I wasn't against the possibility of changes to the series coming into this. This game needed something fresh to keep it from being a carbon copy of what it originally was, but I do think there's a big difference between adding or redefining elements to a story that didn't exist before and altering important events of your original story for the sake of creating an entirely different narrative, especially when the very notion of what the game poses itself to be is a retelling, a remake of something that was already made before. I wonder where I got that stupid little idea. I really don't understand what the intention was by weakening the impact of some pretty important moments when there's conscious efforts to embolden those moments with more background and depth. So let me frame it this way. The first thing I did whenever I brought home a new game was crack that crazy bitch open and flip through the manual. If you're like 12 years old, manuals were the Minecraft streamer who shows you how to build a house or a bridge. I don't know. But fear not, he's not going to start screaming racial slurs in a murderous rage because his silly little house gets bonked by a girl. No, not a girl. I like to conduct my own background check with the little character dossiers they gave you, like, wow, that's what I'm gonna look like when I turn 45, huh? And as I'm flipping through this thing, admiring the diverse character designs, I stumble across this. Visually, he's already alienated from the ragtag team of misfits in a way that's shrouded his character in mystery before we've even had the chance to play the game. There's purpose to employing this suspense too, as we'll soon discover. There's little inklings spread throughout the game of a legendary Miyamoto Musashi-esque folk hero known all throughout Midgar, an ominous figure known as Sephiroth. And that's all we're ever told about this person. He's a famous first-class soldier who's since gone off the grid that Cloud knew one way or another. After a couple hours into the game, the Avalanche crew find themselves in a bit of a pickle, stuck in a cell, locked up. And then boom, doors are open, everyone's dead, blood all over the wall. What's this freaky ass music? We make our way back to President Shinra's office to give him a little piece of our minds. What? He's got sword head. What? You didn't have sword head last time. Am I dragging this on a bit? Is my point becoming annoyingly clear yet? All these careful steps taken to develop your antagonist, perhaps the most important character in the game, did the remake handle this reveal with the same kind of subtlety and finesse? I'm sure Square has done a decent job of getting new eyes on Final Fantasy VII. It's obvious the PS1 port wasn't going to draw any attention from newcomers. We've learned that they at the very least didn't just phone this game in, and they're willing to acknowledge the shortcomings of previous Final Fantasy titles and evolve. I'm aware I did a whole lot of hooting and hollering about the story changes, but this whole attempt to tie this remake to the original game in this pretentious meta way just completely reshapes this into something new. It's not a remake anymore. It's overcomplicating a story for the sake of pulling this Gallagher routine of, uh-oh, there's a watermelon, what should I do? Am I gonna smash it to pieces? That's what I did last time, but maybe I won't this time. And I don't see the practicality of writing a brand new narrative that A, fans of the original were just gonna be comically infuriated over, and B, confuses the shit out of newcomers with all these references to characters and events that haven't even been introduced yet. If this is the first of the series you've played, you're not gonna know who the fuck Zack is. It's like watching a man tease you he's gonna smash a melon for like 30 hours, only to not smash the melon, but maybe sometimes smash the melon? Like, what the fuck? I'm convinced these dumbass whispers' only purpose is to stop the momentum of the story and be a condescending way to retcon these new ideas. It needs to be pointed out, too, that some of these changes being implemented have huge ramifications on the next installment of the series. They've dug themselves a hole and they don't even think they realize it yet. The way this game's been formatted ensures that there's absolutely no way this next release is going to even come close to finishing the story, at least not the original one. More than likely, we're not going to see the rest of Gaia in future installments. It doesn't seem doable to flesh it out completely. And as it's looking, the story is going to become more and more convoluted and focused on this new time-hopping bullshit. It really sucks to say, but it isn't out of the realm of possibilities that whole segments are going to be scrapped entirely. Even iconic moments aren't safe from the chopping block. And the insane thing about this is I don't even hate this remake. I thoroughly enjoyed it. That's what makes these weird-ass decisions to try and, Evangelion rebuild the fucking story so frustrating. The whole purpose of this video was to figure out if this game achieved what it set out to do, and I'm not even sure if I know the answer to that. And while it may not sound like it, I do still have high hopes for the sequel, mainly because the parts that resonated with me the most were being able to experience this world a second time through a brand new pair of eyes. And if at the very least that's what the next one has in store for us, then I can't complain too much. There's just way too much about this world that hasn't even been touched yet, and I think it'd be such a huge bummer for them to possibly be scrapped. The way things are looking, we're in for another compilation run too, so who knows how much more content is going to be squeezed out of these games. Again, I'm holding my head high. I need to see the rest of the crew. I gotta get to the golden saucer. I gotta see that thick ass country boy.